This is a message for all members of IBEW Local 37 who work in NB Power. I'm Business Manager Ross Galbraith from IBEW, and I want to talk about the MOU that government announced last week. I was concerned when I started to hear rumors that the government was negotiating a sale of NB Power to Hydro Quebec. However, I was shocked when I finally saw details of the proposed deal and learned that it included plans to close Dalhousie Generating Station next year when the current fuel supply runs out, as well as what looks like a plan to phase out the remaining large generating stations at Coulson Cove and Beldoon. Now, although there are concerns that need to be addressed with our other bargaining units at NB Power, transmission, distribution and customer service, and nuclear, the most serious and immediate concerns lie within generation. Now, first off, I'd like to speak to our members at Dalhousie Generating Station. As shocked as I was, I can't imagine how awful it must have felt like for you, your family and co-workers, your friends, and your neighbors in the town of Dalhousie. I know that this is devastating news for the town and for all of northern New Brunswick. It's my hope that you'll believe me when I tell you that your union is going to fight hard for you, your family, and your community. Closing Dalhousie is not the right thing to do, and we don't accept that this is a done deal. I believe Dalhousie has a future, and right now there are some viable options right in front of us. For starters, decision makers are not fully aware of the work that's gone into sourcing a fuel alternative for Dalhousie that's more economic. I'll be talking about options with Energy Minister Jack Keir next week, and I've requested a meeting with Donald Arsenault, your local MLA and the Minister of both Training and Labour and the Northern New Brunswick Initiative. Now, although Local 37 is firmly against the closure of Dalhousie, we do have to be prepared for every possibility. If, despite our best efforts, the worst case scenario happens, I've already obtained a commitment from NB Power, with the support of the Minister of Energy, that early retirements and voluntary severance packages will be offered to employees at Dalhousie and other locations in order to free up positions at Beldoon and elsewhere, so that Dalhousie employees who aren't ready to retire can keep working. Layoffs are not going to happen. Now, next I want to speak to issues that are important to all Local 37 members employed at NB Power. I want you to know that I'm in frequent contact and consultation with IBEW's International Office, your Executive Board, and we've also engaged one of the best labour law firms in Atlantic Canada to work on our behalf as discussions move forward. I'm also trying to arrange a high-level meeting with Hydro Quebec in order to seek firm commitments from them in the event of a sale. Now, this is just prudent insurance in case a deal does go through. We need to be prepared for everything. Now, I want you to also be assured that IBEW Local 37 has not accepted that this announcement is a done deal. The union has always supported NB Power as the power supplier for New Brunswick. However, if it looks like a deal might go through, we need to be in a position to influence any possible outcomes. We can't have all our eggs in one basket, and we will be in a position to influence. Now, I'd like to talk for a moment about some members being disappointed with the fact that I haven't come out aggressively showing strong opposition to the proposed deal. At this point in time, I believe it's best for the union to remain calm and focused. There are a lot of things about this deal that we don't know yet. If a deal does go through, we're going to have to work with Hydro Quebec. And if it falls apart, we still have to work with the province of New Brunswick and NB Power. Now, it's clear to me, and it will be clear to you too, that there's a huge active opposition in place. I feel that getting directly involved right now and strongly criticizing Hydro Quebec or the provincial government could potentially hurt us in the long run. Meaning, I don't want to isolate IBEW Local 37 from having future input on behalf of its members. Our approach has to include working through the relationships we worked so hard to create, while also building new ones. That being said though, I'm sure you don't need to be reminded that you are not just employees of NB Power. You're also citizens of New Brunswick, and I encourage you to become active in supporting the position that you hold. The government is saying that they want people to be engaged in this debate. You're all citizens, you're all ratepayers. You should be involved in this debate. It's important that your voices are heard. You also need to know that Local 37 has the ability and tools to strategically influence some of the potential outcomes. For instance, we've been provided assurances in writing about our 4 major short-term concerns, things like pensions, collective agreements, things like that. Now, my attention is turned to the long-term concerns associated with the proposed sale. Part of that is making sure that those initial commitments are actually captured in writing if something does happen. We need to be prepared for that eventuality. But we can't go on promises. We need things that are done in writing, captured in legislation that absolutely protect you. And like you, I've got a lot of questions that still need to be answered. I want to finish by saying I do really recognize that this is a hard time for you. It's very difficult, I know that. And I want you to know that you and your family have the full support of Local 37 and the IBEW. Please keep up to date by visiting Local 37's website, www.ibew37.com. We're going to keep posting information there and doing things like this video as frequently as possible. In addition to that, we've also set up a special email address for you if you have questions or concerns that you want to share with us. And we'd like you to send those questions in. We'll use them to create a frequently asked questions section. That special email address is nbpsale, so that's nbpsale at ibew37.com. Thanks, brothers and sisters. We'll be keeping you up to speed as this thing develops.